Hey, welcome to Channel14.com's Bodega Nights.
Nights.
I'm Jao.
This is Norm.
I'm Dave.
And this is really cool because I get to talk about stuff that I don't normally get to talk about on regular like Channel 14 podcasts. Because we talk about the news on the Sunstar podcast. We talk about Linux on the Linux podcast. Right. And when I happen to be on the gaming podcast, it's games.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Nice.
So like tonight, man, we're going to be talking about two things that I am like that I'm extremely passionate about, and that David here is extremely passionate about, and Norm here is moderately passionate about.
Yeah, moderately passionate about a lot of things.
We're going to be talking about sleight of hand, and we're going to be talking about comic books.
All right, just for your information, sleight of hand is close-up magic. So yeah.
Well, fine. Well, not exact. Well, we can talk about like the stage stuff, dude. Like the
So we're even gonna go to the I don't want you anywhere near me, so I can be able to do a lot of crazy things,
like the whole David Copperfield thing.
There's gonna be a lot of hating if we go to that point.
Yeah,
hey, man.
We can also talk about
that is good.
That, magic movie. Have you guys seen it? Now You See Me.
No. I've seen the I've seen that movie with Wolverine in it.
The illusion.
Now You See Me. No. That's The Prestige.
Yeah, The Prestige.
But Now You See Me is also awesome, dude.
I haven't seen it.
We'll see it at some point. Right. We'll talk about it.
Don't worry.
Later.
But yeah, so yeah, what's it about?
Well,
let's spoil it.
Now You See Me is pretty much a group of people who were able to do
magicians.
Incredible stage magic that defies logic. And
like all good stage magic,
except for one thing, they do it at the expense of others to a major degree, not just a minor degree, a major degree.
Well,
by the way, we're going to be spoiling a lot of movies.
Yes, we will.
Yeah,
because I'm going to spoil The Prestige now. Sort of in the way that like in The Prestige, the guy's twin brother was pretty much like trapped forever.
Yeah. He's trapped living his other brother's life.
No, he died. Basically the twin brother, the one who's still alive.
Yeah.
He's the one who really has a son.
Oh, he's actually the family man.
Yeah.
All right. While the one who died was he was the planner. He's the one who actually had the brains to plan things. But the one who lived is the one who actually makes the magic tricks.
Yeah.
So the one who's still alive is the one with wife who committed suicide.
Right.
And whose child this is.
I forgot that his wife committed suicide. That's horrible.
Yeah, that's horrible. We don't condone suicide of any form and shape.
Yeah, we totally don't condone suicide of any form. Nor do we condone the use of twins or stooges
in magic tricks.
There might be one. However, does that cover political suicide?
But yeah, back to the movie at hand.
Well, back to the movie. So basically, it covers pretty much only three major tricks.
Okay.
All right, three major stage tricks, and each of them was actually in the end part of a gigantic revenge plot by one of the characters who's not actually one of those four magicians in question.
Okay, what were the tricks like?
All right, the first.
Wait, are we still on?
Prestige? Now You See Me.
Oh, all right. I thought we were still on Prestige.
Oh no. Anyway.
In a little backgrounder for everybody, since we already started with the spoilers, Now You See Me is a movie about four different stage magicians. Actually, they're not all stage magicians. But they all use the stage, but they're not using the same type of magic. One is
more used as a close-up artist. The other one is a
escape artist.
/
spectacle.
Yeah, she's basically one of those former
like Houdini.
No,
like Houdini type stuff.
Yeah, but she was a former beautiful assistant who became a actual escape artist.
Okay.
And then the third one is a mentalist who's really really good at hypnotism.
Okay.
And the last one is a thief magician.
Okay.
Yeah. So stealing stuff. So all right. So these four magicians are from different backgrounds, although there's some connection to a couple of them. And what happened was they were brought together by this secret group or society called the Eye. Supposedly, if you're one of the best magicians, you get to be able to enter the Eye, where all the magic secrets of the world are placed in.
Yeah, but let's not spoil too much of the movie.
Yeah. Anyway, so they had to prove themselves by following this set of rules. Which is basically one gigantic show, which involves three minor shows. So the first show was Showcase. It was funded by a man, and it was awesome. But
Funded by a man. It was
again, you told me not to spoil everything. I
By
could
a
say
person.
yeah. All
the
right.
minor details.
And apparently, the show ended up with this guy going to a bank via a magical teleportation helmet. And
Alright, let's to curb the details of it. It's a combination magic heist movie.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
badass, dude.
Yeah.
yeah, and in the end, that first trick cost how many millions of
Yeah, basically their
doll-
magic trick revolves around stealing $3 million.
So
No,
it's
this is the first one.
Yeah, the first one, yeah.
right,
Let's move the second and third ones to imagination and people to watch.
Yeah.
yeah, right. So this is but then you've already seen the movie. Like if we do this with other magicians, that'd be cool. Like, what would you do with a mentalist, an escape artist, a close-up magician, and what was the fourth one?
Thief magician?
But yeah, thief magician. Like, what would you do with that? Like,
If
what
I-
could you get away with?
With that, a lot of things.
Just
I
the
mean,
mentalist alone.
basically, yeah. I mean, basically, just to give a little extra spoiler. The first time the mentalist was shown, he hypnotized somebody's wife and into a state where she could forget things. And she got the guy, and she found out that via mentalism again, that the guy was actually cheating on his wife
With her
and
sister.
extorted money from him.
Oh,
Do you want to make this go away? It's easy. Just pay me.
God.
You remember
dude.
nothing.
Mentalism. So bad at mentalism.
Oh, believe me, a lot of us are. I mean, we are quite competent if I do say so myself when it comes to magic. However, there are very few really good mentalists. At the same time, it's sort of a risky art. I've talked to one of the best I know. A shout out to Greg Pimentel. He's one of the best mentalists I know here in the Philippines, if not the best. Yes, I am praising him. He is, he's well known to be able to find things about your psyche that you're not supposed to. He's that good at forcing things out of you.
Because like there are two types of mentalism, right? Like there's the pure psychology mentalism, which I'm really bad at. like being able to pick up on subtle hints and being able to get somebody
changes,
like if you could see us now, like the whole 7 of diamonds thing, right? Like
Yes.
like that I'm really bad at.
Yeah.
But like the quote unquote mentalism that involves
Yeah, the
like,
sleight of hand.
like sleight of hand mentalism, that's really bad.
Yeah.
Like that's really
yeah,
what we can do.
because that basically I would have to say it's a bit more like pseudo-mentalism because we make it look like we're doing incredible stuff with our minds when in actuality it's just how fast our
Like
hands
it's just
are.
pure sleight of hand, right?
Well, the thing is, I learned that mentalism requires a lot of things. I'm pretty sure you know this too, which is reading. Again, in terms of reading other people, it's the usage of
But, like,
micro expressions, body language. All these you have to actually study to be able to be really, really good, and it's frustrating. Because even the slightest mistake, you just think that you think that they acted this way. I think that they're acting this way can lead to a very, very disastrous result. Because, yeah, mentalism basically requires you to act like you know everything.
So, like, what do you think we can do with all these? I mean, we can see like mentalism alone, you can do so much, and you can mess up so easily.
But the thing about mentalism, like my theory of mentalism is it's the art of finding an out, right? Because not everything is gonna hit when you
Right.
talk about mentalism, so you always have to have like a plan B.
Yeah, so basically it's digging your own grave and then finding a way to put somebody else in that grave. So the deeper it is, the harder for you to get out.
Yeah,
Right.
it's like the invisible deck, right? The invisible deck is like the ultimate out.
Yeah.
Like you screw up anything, but the invisible deck.
Yeah.
Like even with mentalism, I would think that if you're doing some sort of like mentalism effect involving a deck of cards and you screw up, you just pull out the invisible deck and you're clean.
Well, there's another way because now that you mentioned, I think that would be easier to say that mentalism's out is sleight of hand magic.
Oh,
If you mess up at mentalism, your out is always going back to the basics, or at least to something that is just as impressive but not as complicated.
yeah, I can see that. I can totally see that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I guess that's just me talking as a sleight of hand magician, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, because that's always my point of reference. It's always,
Well, again,
to think of it as an out.
mentalism is another branch. We don't necessarily, just because we're sleight of hand magic doesn't mean we have to, like, say, we need to know every branch of sleight of hand. I mean, I can tell you, I remember when I first went into UANP, and you didn't know anything. And now I can honestly say, without a shadow of doubt, you're way better than I am.
Yeah, well, whatever. Humble. A humble brand. No, not
Humility?
really.
That's not becoming of you, sir.
Yeah, like, outs. That's something that, every magician should have, right? Like,
Yes.
a brilliant out.
And I'm pretty sure we all have our outs.
Yeah. Oh, I'll show this to you later. Like, the classic force,
Yes.
right? Like, how good are you with the classic force? How often do you hit it?
Here's the thing. After on a couple of mistakes, I started using other versions of the force instead of the classic force.
All right. I was able to find like an out for the classic force, like if you miss.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I need to see that one because I never use the classic force because it's too risky for me.
Yeah, if you miss it, I found an out.
All right.
Oh my God. Sleight of hand. How did you get into it, by the way? How did you get into sleight of hand, dude? Like,
Well, I have to blame Fiel for that. Fiel is my best friend in high school, and pretty much he's become more of like a brother to me after all these years. Well, Fiel we were in second year high school. I was the guinea pig.
oh, so it's like, here, pick a card.
Yeah, so he was practicing how to do magic, sleight of hand magic. Of course, he made so many mistakes.
So you like figured it out.
Yeah, so when
I
it
saw the
reached
path.
third year, I kind of said, "Hey, why can't I do this myself?" So I went to sleight of hand magic at third year high school, and it's been a really fun road after that. Although I would have to say there are some times when you get annoyed, especially with the people who heckle a lot.
Oh, dude, when you have a heckler, my favorite thing to do is just have the person pick a card, control, and just pull it out of my pull it out of my pants.
Out of his zipper, ladies
Yeah,
and
dude,
gentlemen.
like unzip, pull it out, and if I'm feeling really if I'm feeling really nasty, or the heckler is particularly nasty, the card is a little bit wet when I hand it to them.
Nasty.
Yeah, that stops them from coming anywhere near you, man.
It's like, oh yeah, oh, heckle, oh, heckle.
Here's something disgusting.
Just think of any old card. Oh, really? It's in my pants. Haha. Here, you can take
It's in
it.
my underwear.
I apologize for its states.
But you
It's kind
know,
of sticky. You know?
that's what happens when people make me nervous.
Jow, patter.
Exactly.
Thank you, Norm.
Actually, Norm, like of all of the magicians in the group, like Norm has the best patch, I think.
I got the worst pattern, man.
Hey, dude, first of all, besides the patter, you're pretty much, you pioneered a number of moves that I kind of teach up to now. So, you can't...
Stumbled onto it more like.
But what do you
more
mean,
than
like,
pioneer?
like the way he does the Erdnase
Yeah.
color change?
Yeah, that's what I actually teach and it works so well. And a lot of magicians have done it too. They can't catch it unless I tell them to. How it works.
But then every magician worth his salt knows what an Erdnase change looks like.
Definitely. But the way it's shown, at least the way Norm does it, it makes it look like you're doing something. At the same time, you also prove that you're doing nothing. But you're also doing something.
Oh, okay. So it's like nothing up my sleeves. Like,
Yeah.
Like that sort of thing.
Well, that's what they thinks of it. I just think it was like, hey, that's pretty cool. It's faster this way. Like, hey, look, crystal ball.
But hey, look, it's effective. Now you are a pioneer of a move, which I actually teach as Norman's color change.
Oh, I have something with my name on it. And it's not a pink slip.
I gotta show you a couple of moves now. Like, oh yes, this is Zhao's classic force. God. Like in the same way that what's it? like Fiel, his what's it called?
Cerebral
Assassin. I think it should still be called Fiel's Triumph because that's exactly what it is, right? It's a triumph routine where you mix the cards face up, face down, and they're clean, and then your kicker is they're arranged by color.
True, but if there's one thing I learned, if a magician or at least modifies or pioneers a trick and uses it as his own, well, he has the chance to name it no matter what the heck he wants. At this point in time, Norm can actually name the trick, and I'll actually start calling it by that name.
Still honored. Still blushy. Don't see it. I'm grinning from ear to ear.
Are you sure it's not the alcohol?
Could be the alcohol. We don't condone, not less than moderate drinking.
All right.
But yeah, it's a really good color change though. As far as color changes goes, like woo. God, I remember back in college, dude.
Yeah.
It was at a cast party. It was like, oh, David, one of the lead actors had a deck of cards out, and he's like, did an ambitious card routine. Oh, look, it's a card. Aha. Right, we put the card into the middle.
Right.
And aha, the card is now on top. Like, mind blown. Later that night, like I found a deck of cards and at home. I was like, how does this work? Let's think about the mechanics of this.
Yeah, that's how it usually begins.
A couple of days later, it's like, Dave, is this how you do it? He's like, I'm going to show you something.
Get out your measuring sticks, gentlemen.
Well, here's the thing. In the recent times, I feel old for saying this. I've been teaching magic more than learning new things.
Okay.
Because although I wouldn't call Zhao my first student anymore, considering the fact that he's way better than I am. I have a number of students right now who are still in school.
God, David's really making us blush tonight, huh?
I know, right?
Or it could be the alcohol. I don't know.
All we can do is like, he's the beginning of it all, man. He's the awesome,
Yeah, but
legendary Nakpil.
yeah, but again, those who are the beginning usually end.
Although your ambitious card, like David's ambitious card is amazing, right? Because like it ends with a Mercury fold and it pops out of like a...
I can't do some of the things that David can do.
Like, yeah, the way you end your ambitious card is still something that fries so many people.
I remember the first time I actually performed it to my family. I had my uncle. He's a UP graduate. Not saying anything about UP graduates, but he has a very
analytical mind.
Yes. So if he doesn't understand it, there's something wrong. There always has to be an explanation.
Yeah.
So I knew this because when I did the grandfather's aces to him, he tried to grab my hand multiple times because he was like, no. As a usual heckler would go. So what I did, my finale.
That's when you pull the card out of your pants.
No, I can't do that. He's my uncle. So what I did instead was my ambitious card routine plus a ring box, or in this case, a box of gum. And it turned out afterwards, of course, I made him hold that box the whole time. He did not know what was inside. What I did beforehand, I pulled out a piece of gum from inside and I asked, would you like some gum? No, I can't, because he was diabetic. So I asked him to hold it and said, hold on to me for a while. All right, just keep it safe for me. Then it was amazing that he didn't open it. His curiosity didn't get better of him. I'm guessing it was because he was too focused on my hands.
Yeah.
So I did the whole routine. Then finally, when I said, "Oh, Tito, can you hand me something? Can you hand me that?" Why? Because the card that you chose, the one you signed, it's not there. It's in this box. No. It was in my hand the whole time. That's impossible. I showed it to him. Like, no, David, you have to explain to me. No, you have to tell me. No. Don't say anything. Just tell me how.
That's the thing about what's it? Like that's the thing about sleight of hand.
Yeah.
Like 90% of the work is focus.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, wow. And that's the beautiful thing about it. Like everybody that's listening to this podcast now, like we are telling you that 90% of the magic and sleight of hand is the magician managing your focus. Mm-hmm. But the next time you're in front of the magician, you're going to focus exactly where he wants you to focus.
You wouldn't be much of a magician if you weren't able to do at least that, dude.
Yeah.
Totally not much of a magician.
It's like the Penn and Teller. It's like that Penn and Teller thing. They have this one effect where one of the first things they do is they show the audience a palm. Like everybody in, I think everybody that has ever read any sort of book on magic knows what a palm is, right?
Yeah.
Like you keep the card in your hand, etc. And that's the first thing they do. They reveal this is what a palm looks like. And not 5 minutes later, they do something that involves a palm. And it still plays big. Because like they can't connect. They can't connect it, right? Like
The more illogical it seems, the better the effects.
It's similar to how they did the cups and balls.
Yeah. But I don't know. The thing about Penn and Teller's cups and balls routine, I think, that makes it more magical is it's more of a display of skill, right? Where that where the one that involves palming is still a moment of magic because they still lose the card. And like it ends with the card being impaled in Teller's hand.
Nice.
And that's obviously a palm. But like it still plays really big, even though they revealed one of the more integral moves, and it's because of focus, like where the focus is.
Yeah. What the term is misdirection. It's always been present in almost any magic trick.
It's a key element.
Yeah, because without misdirection, I actually do this for people just to show them what it means to be misdirected. It just goes to show that without misdirection, it's essentially stupid to do any sort of move because you can see everything if you know exactly where to see or exactly where to look. But that's the point. We make sure that they don't see that. We make sure that they don't look there. They look exactly where we want them to look.
Yeah. That's it. And I find it so amazing that like we can tell everybody exactly what like the magic is, not necessarily revealing the moves, but like talking about focus management, audience management, focus management, misdirection. Like you can talk about all of that. And even with the audience cognizant of it, they are still going to be misdirected.
Yeah. For any of you who want to try, look for Zhao. And let's see if you can catch him. Please do. I'm willing.
Totally gonna catch me now.
All right, ignore everything that he does.
I'm willing to wager money if you can catch Zhao.
You'll get people like
Zhao,
drinking Adderall
remember,
right in front of you.
Your honor's on the line.
That's when you start doing something like absolutely clean. Something that has like absolutely no sleight of hand, like a self-working. A trick that you can pick out of like a book. A beginner magic book.
Self-working. Remember when I started out, I couldn't get a self-working trick to work right? It's like, how could you mess this up?
Yeah, that's what it's called, huh? Self-working. Totally forgot. Like,
yeah.
Self-working tricks. The ultimate out.
Hey, you still remember the main self-working trick I used, and pretty much everybody adopted was I won't touch the deck anymore. You do all the magic.
Oh, the weird, like your weird 4 A's production.
Yeah. It works up to now. No matter who you do it to, everybody's like, oh, no,
you're a magician now.
Oh yeah, that's the fine line. You're a magician now. Oh.
Congrats. Keep the deck of cards.
Hell no, that's $150 right now. No.
Although sometimes, like sometimes when it comes to certain effects, I don't mind like letting the audience know how I do the trick, because part of the spectacle is pulling off like the cleanest bottom deal. Like I really don't mind showing people what a bottom deal is, because one, it can help them if they're in like games or whatever. Like, and at the same time, it just feels so nice. You're like,
showing off in the worst ways.
There's actually this one. I'm not sure if you remember. You were the one who gave me that video of this guy who was showing all the card sharps, or basically the cheating moves for Magic.
Yeah.
And now you're acting exactly like him. Look where their professionalism is going now. You're actually using Magic to teach people that cheating is bad.
Yeah, dude, come on. Law student.
Ain't no sleight of hand there.
Yeah, dude, because that's the most recent move that I quote unquote mastered, right? Like a bottom deal. Oh my god.
Wait, considering the fact that you are now working to be a lawyer, how has magic helped you in that field?
It helps relieve the stress.
Multitasking.
I was thinking that patter probably would have made impact on how you're able to defend a person by misdirecting the jury to seeing all the evil things.
We don't have a jury system in the Philippines, you see.
I would have thought that being in law school would have changed your pattern, though.
How so?
I don't know. It becomes more argument based.
That's what you should never do, though. You should never, like. Well, the thing that's the thing that's weird about law school in relation to me as a person is I come from like the background of like theater, like a lot of improv, sleight of hand. A lot of this is like you're supposed to agree with the person. You're supposed to agree with your partner. You're supposed to agree with the audience when you're coming to like patter or whatever. You're supposed to be open and receptive. Whereas when you are in litigation, you're supposed to say no. Like you are incorrect, counsel, with all due respect, you know? Like you're supposed to show like a white index card and say, "This is black, Your Honor." Like, yeah.
With all conviction.
Yeah, with all conviction. Well, I guess as a magician, it can help in so far as when you're a magician, you're lying to a person's face and doing it like with a straight face, right?
This is where the magic happens.
Well, there could be a connection to that. Again, the only difference I see so far is the fact that this time you're lying to multiple people's faces and actually being paid money for it.
That's exactly what a magician does.
But hey, at least this one, they pay you big bucks.
Well, David Blaine.
Yeah.
You saw his show when he came to the Philippines, huh?
He became better. He's still a bit more like a drone. But he became better.
Okay.
I can now actually respect the fact that he is one of the best technicians. He has really good hand manipulation skills. I would actually pay to chop off his hands and connect them to mine. But in terms of patter, he couldn't defend himself to save his life, no matter what he does.
Yeah, he's that type of magician, though. Because, like, there's this, like TV magicians. I find it weird that the popular TV magicians, so that would be like Chris Angel and David Blaine, amazing technicians. Like some of the most amazing, like some of the cleanest top changes and stuff I've seen from David Blaine. But his patter
leaves much to be desired.
This is
he's been
a watch.
Well, he's been
Nothing
used
under
to
my sleeves. Like Chris Angel is the same way.
Yeah, I guess they're used to staring at the audience down. Like, I don't need misdirection because I'm gonna stare at you until you feel creepy enough to just stare at me back.
Although I think it was it might have been Penn and Teller or Jay Sankey that talked about the revolution in close-up magic, where like if you look at the evolution of magic through the years, it started out as like a stage thing, right? Like in the earliest of early days, it was this guy on a table, like doing the cups and balls or producing eggs while they were pickpocketed.
Yeah.
There
was actually a documentary on that.
Yeah, right? French, like some of the earliest magicians were French. Well, the Egyptians, fine, but you know.
Basically, these guys weren't focused on magic alone. They were like,
they were cheats.
Not only that, they were the guys who had like, they came along with, more of a freak show.
Yeah.
So they had a lot of people with them to help entertain, and they usually entertained in bars. Yeah. It was only during the recent times when magic became a lot more focused, I would say.
Well, what I was going for was, it started out with the magician, like the focus was on the magician, and through the years it became more and more towards, the magician that the focus was, where the focus was, right? So you have like guys like David Copperfield, who are like extremely flamboyant, you know, Penn and Teller. It's all about the magician. And, in the late 90s, early 2000s with David Blaine's first magic, with his first street magic thing, all of a sudden the focus of the magic wasn't the magician, but the audience.
Was basically their reaction,
Yeah.
how amazing it was, how impossible it was.
Yeah. So the focus is no longer on the magician, which is why it is excusable that David Blaine has some of the worst patter I've ever heard.
True, but considering that, what about it's okay, I think, if it were in a TV setting, but now he's been doing like stage things.
Yeah.
He was in the middle of the
just came
stage.
from this.
Of course, the interesting thing about that performance he did was the whole front row were all magicians, and I didn't know if they were there to actually watch a good magician perform or to scrutinize the heck out of him because of how he was doing. I guess though, at least the magician's code are still there, but
Probably
at the same
both.
time,
Better be. Never throw a magician under the bus, dude.
especially in an event that big.
I know what you're doing.
Show me your left hand.
Yeah, and although it was pretty interesting because I would say the best magician in that group wasn't David Blaine. He actually brought in others to do it, and a number of them did pure skill things. Like there's this one guy who did Rubik's Cube magic.
Ooh.
Imagine he got a Rubik's Cube, he got somebody to scramble it completely.
And he pulled the rabbit out of it.
So, he showed that apparently there are how many combinations of it. And he was able to, he had another Rubik's Cube that was scrambled. He put it back together. But what would be harder was copying an already scrambled Rubik's Cube.
Oh.
So
right down to
First of all, he copied it. Then what he did, he put these two Rubik's Cube, one in each hand, put them out of his line of sight,
Then he solved
and
both
he
of
solved both of them with two hands at the same time.
them. Oh.
Is this like? But that's another thing. That's another thing that David Blaine does, and I'm not sure if that's considered like sleight of hand, or if it's considered magic per se. But like the pure skill, like that seems more akin to magic's roots as being part of like the traveling circus.
Yeah, true. Yeah. I guess it's still a part of magic in a sense that magic is something that amazes or brings wonder to people. And in this case, there's been multiple versions of it. That's one. Another one is, again, if we mentioned this a while ago, thief magic or magic that involves stealing. Yeah. The greatest thief magician in the world is well known to literally steal the belt off your waist and the tie off your neck. And he's really, really good. And he does it as long as he does it in entertainment to people, it's okay. But if you do it in real life,
well,
and
you better not be stealing ties.
And the thing is, he actually goes to the point of explaining that. The first thing he does is, in everything, is first tells, "I am a thief. I'm going to steal stuff off you," and still he never gets caught.
Yeah, again, it's good like focus. It's good focus. Like even when you're watching it on TV, right? Like he can scrutinize the whole thing. He does it in plain view.
Yeah.
You know? It's sort of like that. It's sort of like that thing with when like in those documentaries where they have you do some weird math problem and like you see a gorilla walk by in the background or something, but like you never notice the gorilla because you're too busy trying to figure out the math problem.
Yeah,
it's about I guess telling the people what to anticipate and then countering that anticipation.
Well, the incredible thing is, their anticipation is still focused on something that they know what's going to happen, but they still don't catch it. I would say that would hallmark one of the better magicians, like Penn and Teller. They tell you exactly what they're going to do, and you still don't get how they did it. You know that they did it. You know that how it's done. You just never catch them actually doing it.
You're talking about the cups and balls.
Not just that. As you mentioned, the palm. They showed how it was done. That there was an actual way to palm the card, and yet the action of doing it, they didn't catch that action.
Well, yeah.
Which is incredible because that only means one thing: your skill outstrips their ability to comprehend the act itself.
Yeah. Well, I guess there's going back to Penn and Teller's palm thing. I guess what makes it different is they showed the palm, they didn't show how to get into palm.
Well,
or at least they didn't call attention to how to get into palm.
True, but I as an audience member, the first thing I would do was okay, they said they're gonna use a trick that involves this thing called the palm. So all I have to do is to watch that hand and see at which point in time will a card, even just for the slightest moment, have contact with that hand.
Okay.
And despite that, they still never got caught.
If you can cover your palm well enough, like, yeah. Like a chink, chink. Oh, man.
Dude, your palm is impressive.
Oh.
I can't do a palm to save my life. I know, I've tried.
I can't do coin magic to save my life.
The only time I use a palm, dude, I only know very few tricks in that. And
Still better than I do.
All I can do is a coin roll and a French drop.
I can't even do the coin roll. But the thing is, the only time I use a palm is when I'm practicing when I'm doing magic to kids. That's because they don't really notice.
It's all about the swag, dude. It's all about the confidence, you know? Like my palm, admittedly, is kind of messy. Like when I palm in like regular performance, it is never as clean as when I show you like, hey, check out my one hand top palm. You know?
Yeah.
Like it is always so much dirtier in actual performance. But it's all about the swag. Like don't feel awkward. If you don't feel awkward about your palm, you're fine. If you drop your hand to the right, you're fine.
I kinda get that because I'm pretty sure all of us have experienced a time when we know we royally screwed up a trick.
And then you pull out the invisible deck.
No, not just that. We're able to save it. And the people think, oh, it's impressive. But deep inside, we're like, they did not catch that.
Deep inside, I'm like, well, there's one trick I can't use anymore. They know what to watch out for.
Although, like, there was this one time where the luckiest thing in the world happened, right? Because like I had a prediction, and we know how the prediction is going to work out. But then I had two people, and this was a totally separate trick. I had them like pick out two cards, like not pick a card, but like just say one out loud, right? So my prediction was a 7 of diamonds, and somebody picked out like an ace of diamonds or queen of diamonds or something, and somebody else picked out a 7 of hearts. So I was like, okay, right. Before we continue, we have two elements here. We have a heart, we have a diamond, and we have a 7.
Yeah.
So I pull out the card box and there's like a prediction there. 7 of diamonds.
I remember there's a similar incident. I'm not sure if it was you. I think it was you, who did the same thing. When we, remember the slide trick wherein basically you put there are two people. You get one to pick a card, put it back in the deck, and then you get another person to pick out 2 cards. And then you basically throw the whole deck and it leaves the one card they chose sandwich in the middle.
Yeah.
So, what happens was, you asked somebody to pick a card, and then you ask the other person, hey, can you take a look at this? Alright, name a card, any card you want. They name a card, and there's like, and I see, and this other person lit up, and apparently, without seeing the card, this person named that card, and you're like, okay, I'm done.
That's one of the most amazing things. Like there was this one time, I just had somebody like pick a card, you know, and as part of the regular pattern was, so it could be any card. It could be like an ace of spades for all I care. And then like that person was like, how did you know?
Well, I'm a magician.
And this is related to like that episode of, this is related to Bodega Nights episode where we realized that a lot of Norm's life is based on luck.
How so?
I was, just listen back to that episode. And, as I understand it, one of the most effective color changes you've used is based on Norm's luck.
Horrible.
I really love that color change though.
Yeah.
Like the Erdonese color change.
It's always one of the best. Even when I do the ego slip, it's still not as, although it's dramatic for a chance. This one is more dramatic since you showcase the card and leave no room for doubt. So yeah, it's there's still a chance that you can slip up during the sorry for the pun, slip up during the ego slip.
Right.
But Norm's color change is just it makes sure that no matter who you are, you're just gonna say, oh, wait a minute, that was exactly that. No, there's a way. No.
The thing about the thing about the ego slip. Well, the thing about Daniel Garcia's magic in general is like I really like Daniel Garcia's magic because he's like pure sleight of hand, you know. A lot of this stuff, a lot of things that look as impressive are usually gimmicked, right? But like with Daniel Garcia, it's pure sleight of hand, and he has all sorts of weird, creative moves, but they're just so impractical. And like they're really hard to learn and really impractical, but like some of the most impressive things, and like if you can get it right, sometimes some of the most useful.
Yeah, that's although again, that's if you can get them right. I have all 3 videos, and I've only managed to learn 2. That's the ego slip and the pistol, the paper pistol.
Oh yeah.
That's about it. The rest is just I can't.
It's really I don't know. Well, he has this one move that involves the card box.
Okay.
Like the way the card box is shaped or something. And it's like it's like a steel, or I can't remember what it was. A steel, a put, or like a palm or something. It's really good. Like fairly easy, really risky. Tried it once. Amazing.
The one that impressed me that he did was the one on the pool table. The one where he, the transposition of the card into a place where it was impossible to be from somewhere in the deck.
Huh.
Okay, yeah.
And the worst part is it takes pure skill in an airless environment to actually work.
It has to be pointed out, an airless environment.
Yeah, because just one gust of wind and you're
breathes.
blown.
Yeah. Inhales too deeply. Gone.
But yeah, but then I don't know, man. Like, Daniel Garcia has some of the best patter I have ever heard.
Oh. Yeah, he acts all street smart, and the thing is, it's actually the pattern you'd expect from a pickup artist.
Yeah.
More than a magician, but he does it so well that it actually jives with how he dresses, his personality.
Right.
It's amazing.
Well, he has this series of videos he has a gaff deck with Wayne Houchin.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, their gaff deck. Like some of the stuff that he came up with there, amazing as well.
Like what?
Like I have I have a variation on it where it's like a 2-card selection and you combine the 2 cards together. And then
as in literally combine the 2
yeah, well,
cards?
it's a gaff, right?
Oh yeah.
But like and I have that I have a variation on it where like you take 2 cards, you combine the 2 cards. Well, it's 2 cards are selected, and then like you put the audience under the fine. 1 card is selected, but then there are actually 2 selections by 2 different audience members. It's kind of weird. It's the pattern. And, the line is, you can't figure out which one you want. Let's just have both.
I think, oh my goodness.
And then the kicker is, then he splits the 2 cards and like, here you go. Like, it's an amazing effect. And like, if y'all have,
so
the
I'm
cash.
pretty sure it's a very visual effect. Oh my goodness. Otherwise, because if it were like a hidden effect, you could probably make it out. But if you make it extremely visual, that would shock the audience.
That's another thing that I love about Daniel Garcia's work. It is so visual.
Yeah. He always made a show out of even the simplest trick. However, he tends to overcomplicate things. Although I'm not saying that's not ineffective, because it's really effective. It's just, even if he placed it in 3 videos and you still can't even it'll take you a year of doing that trick nonstop just to be able to perfectly do it or replicate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, what can we do?
It's practice.
Exactly, practice.
Yeah,
Long
practice, and nothing but.
But then on the other hand, you have Jay Sankey.
There is that, yeah.
Sorry, I just want to talk about Jay Sankey, man. That guy's my hero.
He's like your idol, man.
Like, yeah, he can be.
If Daniel Garcia has one of the best patters, Jay Sankey definitely has one of the greatest patters as well.
Well, I guess it depends.
Your style of pattern.
Yeah, it depends on your audience, diba? Because some people don't respond well to to that sort of hyperactive, kind of goofy
ADHD.
Yeah. But if you're supposed to make your audience feel comfortable, then I guess Jay Sankey is really good at doing that.
Disclaimer though, I have nothing against people with ADHD. I have ADHD, so I'm just saying this because I understand how he acts.
But yeah, so he has and he has some of the most iconic standard tricks that you can use. Back in time, dude, that's my go-to trick of all time, man.
And effective to anyone, dude. It's awesome.
And he did what was the name of that effect with he did an effect with that was used by David Copperfield. What was that effect?
David Copperfield did card magic?
He does.
Yeah, dude. David Copperfield did a Jay Sankey trick. A deck of cards ends up inside a balloon.
I've never heard of David Copperfield doing this before. So, refresh my memory.
It was it was very stagey, it was very stagey. Audience member selects a card. Then magician puts the deck of cards inside the balloon, blows into the balloon, and then pulls the card out of the balloon. So pulls the selection out of the balloon
while it's inflated.
Yeah, while it's inflated.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is a Jay Sankey effect, and it was used by David Copperfield. It was used by Chris Angel. Yeah.
Well, in terms of originality, I mean, people pioneer things and people always copy things. I mean, I guess in a sense, magic is somewhat like martial arts. There's a very limited amount of originality. It's more of us copying and innovating what already exists.
But I will argue though that Daniel Garcia and Jay Sankey are two of they still manage to come up with original stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Because I mean, I guess if we actually went down their road wherein magic purely became our lives, we'd probably innovate a lot of incredible things as well.
Yeah. I don't know though. Me personally, when it comes to magic and magic theory, the way that I construct tricks, not so much from a purely original. It doesn't come from a purely original place. I still always fall back to the fundamentals. Pull an obscure move, but at the end of the day, I'm terrible at making up new sleights.
True.
And that's something that Daniel Garcia is so good at. Coming up with these weird new sleights, like that ego slip that he does, that effect Fallen. Absolutely original,
I guess if you're inspired, I can't really say inspiration because, I mean, we still love doing magic. We can't deny that. I guess it's wanting to take things to the next level.
Yeah.
That probably pushes some magicians to do better and better.
On to Houdini.
Well, here's the thing. Although Houdini is, again, considering your argument on whether or not, things like thief magic, escape magic is magic. Would it be proper to call Houdini a magician?
An escape artist.
Or an escape artist?
Well, yeah, I guess.
He did magic.
Because he also did like, he also did do sleight of hand.
Yeah.
Right? But it was sort of, he was sort of the Chris Angel of his day. Where like, yeah, he did do sleight of hand, but he was more known for,
Escape magic.
yeah, escaping from like a straight jacket while being hung upside down in a barrel that was about to burn down, you know, like that was Houdini. But he was known to have done his fair share of like magic, you know, or like pure sleight of hand. So, I guess that's sort of where it became associated, because it is in a sense doing the impossible. Yeah. Yeah, man, that's,
We can go on about this for
yeah, we could talk about that, Vernon.
yeah, dude.
Oh, we could talk about Ed Marlowe. Oh my God, Ed Marlowe. He's the reason that I wanted. He's the reason that I wanted to be like a card magician, dude. Because like,
Dude, my idol, Tommy Wonder. He's pretty much most of my most amazing tricks came from this guy, and I mean, we could name drop magicians as we go along, and we won't stop.
Yeah.
You know, I could name Tommy Wonder. I could name again. We can go for it, like Jay Sankey, Jao Chenza, Norman Tan. Look at it.
David McPhill.
no, man, don't put me there. No. Because I merely copy. I do what they do, but like, what's it? There was like with Back in Time. I guess the way that I do magic is if you look at Back in Time, right? If you look at the patter of it, right? You're like going back in time and whatever. Like what I did with that trick was I deconstructed it in the sense that, right? So these are the core set of moves, and these are the like important lines, like the important pieces of pattern that just absolutely have to be there, and from there, sort of put it back together in a way that suits my style for the present day or whatever. Like the important piece of pattern is remember this moment, right? But it isn't necessarily the line remember this moment so much as it is the act of remembering the moment. So what I do when I perform Back in Time now is I say, take a picture.
Instagram this.
Yeah, Instagram this. I'm gonna do that now. Next time I perform Back in Time. Right, we're gonna Instagram this. Take a selfie
So
with
there's
like,
undeniable proof right here. The whole world knows.
yeah. But like that's that's a totally different like discussion altogether.
Dude,
like routining, the theory of routining.
Just-
we're not gonna talk about comic books now. We're just gonna be talking about magic.
just gave me an idea for a trick. I'll tell you about it. Dude, it's gonna be amazing because it takes this trick to the next level. It also involves a picture, and basically it's a card production where one card comes out, the chosen card in the picture. I think you've done this before, or at least you've seen this before. But imagine everyone else knowing this except the person who actually did it, who I did it to, until the last moment.
Okay. Sounds interesting.
Later, we'll talk about this in detail. Well, see, inspiration just by talking about magic.
Yeah, dude, I wanna. Before you head back to Manila, let's take like a video and like submit it or something.
Yeah, I mean,
Because like, I don't have time to produce an actual video. Let's like submit it to one of those like magic sites and see if we can get a deal.
Yeah. $5.
we're gonna have to come up with something clearly different, dude. Because
Modification on a new trick isn't it?
no, it's possible, but it's best if you make a trick that
Nobody's ever done before.
no, it's not really, but something noteworthy. At least even if it's a variation of a trick, it's something that everybody will like. Oh my goodness, it's something that I've never thought of before, or something like that.
Yeah.
It
That's
doesn't.
the challenge.
Yeah, I mean, even if they say they know this move, oh, I know how to do this lift or whatnot, and they say, I never thought of this as an application for this.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So say like the Chicago opener.
Yeah.
How the Chicago opener uses the same move as an ambitious card,
Yeah.
and etc. But then it's used in a totally different way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, considering we can be able to do this within a span of time, definitely.
Because I have this effect that involves removing a pip and the pip coming like visually getting back on the card. Yeah, we should totally film that.
Why not?
Yeah.
My God.
I remember AG was trying to get into Magic before.
Oh yeah, and it's like, but his hands get really sweaty.
So I was like, he's frustrated magician.
Yeah.
The what's it is good though. Like AG, I'm sure could do like those self-working tricks.
Yeah, because his pattern's really, really good.
Yeah.
Well, if there's one thing I learned in Magic, once you start down that road, no matter how many times you say you quit or you don't do anything, there's things that still is retained. My brother, for example, he only did Magic for around 3 months, and he can still do the most amazing fans I could ever see. I mean, he does this one-hand fan, similar, and then he does another one. So he's similar to the S fan.
Yeah.
But then afterwards, his final is he can actually make a full fan, a full circular. He transfers it to his right hand.
Okay.
So he hasn't touched the deck in a while. Then when I give it to him, he starts fanning, and I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, I can't do that.
Kind of like riding a bicycle. The moment you find the one thing you really, really like.
Yeah, when you get that deck in your hand, no matter who you are, no matter how long you have it, you're still gonna start, moving your fingers in ways that you remember. You don't have to remember directly. Your hands need to do the memorizing.
What's it? I guess like with like you haven't picked up a deck of cards in a while, I would assume.
Years.
But you can still do a splat production like nobody's business.
I think so, yeah.
God, that move.
Man, I have broken so many cards.
No! I've had that complaint with so many former magicians as well. For example, there's just one person, his name's Mario Gamboa. He had he doesn't do Magic anymore. Although, considering his size, he's quite short, and he's really thin. And he can still do the one-hand shuffle without an issue. And he's like, dude, I can't do that. And he's like, dude, it's easy. Just remember, you're gonna cut your fingers up so badly for the next couple of months. You're gonna probably bend a finger out of place in a while. So,
yeah, when I learned how to do a one-hand shuffle, dude, like my left hand was sore for like a week. Like stretching.
I mean, I've been trying to do it for a long time, not consistently, but every once in a while, I'm like, I'll try to do this, and I still can't.
How's your Pharaoh?
My Pharaoh is good if I have a new deck.
Okay.
But if I have an old one, or a plastic one,
So then it's gonna be
tough luck.
Well, the thing with because the thing with the one-hand shuffle is if you can do a Pharaoh, it's the same sort of movement.
Dude, first of all, I can do a Pharaoh. It takes a while, but I can do a Pharaoh. While some people, like Mr. Atienza, can do a Pharaoh in less than a second.
Well,
Yes, I've actually counted. Before you combine cards, like, okay, he's about to do a Pharaoh. Less than a second.
what's it? It's well, the thing I noticed about a deck of cards is the more you do something with a deck of cards, the easier it's going to be to do it.
Sure.
So, like, if you're doing a lot of false dealing, for example, like the cards will adapt to it like it'll bevel in the way that makes it easier for you to
naturally go into that position.
Yeah, but it takes a while. I mean, like, for the audience members, just for you to understand how hard it is we do these, the Pharaoh is a shuffle wherein one card is perfectly on top of each other when you shuffle the cards in. So it's 1, 1, 1, not a chunk and chunk. Now, please do try to shuffle, and let's see if you can do it. Because there's only one magician I know who can actually do a Pharaoh on the table perfectly. It's not easy. It takes a long time of practice. And
a lot
up
of
to now,
cards.
despite the fact that we're not even doing Magic full time, we still practice. We have to.
What's it has a tabled Pharaoh as well. Well, it isn't like a It isn't like a proper riffle shuffle.
No, it's a riffle. It's a casino style riffle shuffle. So basically, it's the one where you make a triangle with your fingers, and then you shuffle the cards that way, instead of the one wherein you actually have to bend and shuffle using the middle finger only and the thumb.
Yeah. What's it? Dan and Dave though, they have a tabled faro which looks really good as well. It isn't like a proper riffle, but it is a tabled faro shuffle.
It's a perfect faro.
Yeah, it's a perfect faro. I'm trying to learn how to do it now, but you gotta learn that bottom deal first.
Yeah, bottom deal, second deal, and middle deal.
Middle deal.
If you can, I'm pretty sure you guys know exactly what it means when you say bottom deal, middle deal, and second deal. You can already guess that. Yeah. Now try doing it without getting caught.
Well, there was what's it? There's this other like insane deal that is absolutely impractical. Well, no, it's not impractical if you're a cheat, like if you're doing card cheating and stuff. But like I'm never gonna use it and I will never learn it. But have you heard of the Greek deal?
No.
That is a second deal from the bottom.
I would say that'd be effective in a game of blackjack, wherein you have to actually put a card underneath to make sure it doesn't make sure there's no bottom dealing.
Yeah. Like if you're doing like your due diligence, I guess, right? Like you're supposed to have a card on the bottom. That way, there's no bottom dealing. That way you can't nullify the cut or whatever. Because like if you put a card on the bottom and like you nullify the cut, you lose the card that's on the bottom. It's in the middle somewhere, right? So
Right.
There.
It gets really, really complicated.
And the thing is, even us as magicians, imagining how it works, it's like, this is gonna take another couple of months to master.
Yeah, look, we're at about time, and we've been talking about like magic. So, next week, a couple of weeks from now,
A month?
we'll talk about comics.
Yeah.
At some point in time, yes.
Yeah. Again, that'll take a long time.
Yeah, it's an entire
Not a long
episode
time
on
before
it.
it happens, but that'll take it'll have a long conversation, that one too.
We need a timeline for it because we're like 2015 is going to be really packed for comic book movies.